Okay, so we're looking back on Friday. Remember, we spent some time infusing ethos, logos, and pathos into your argument here. So, some ways that you can do that are linked on this slide as you continue to work on your own movie review. As we look today, the goal is to establish a strong voice right away in your introduction. So you want to have some type of personality in your intro. Again, this is a critique, but it's a little bit different than just writing an argument. This is the type of critique that it's okay to have some of yourself into your argument. When you notice mine today, hopefully you'll see some examples of some disappointment as you read that opening paragraph and into some critical ideas as well. So this can really go, as negative as you want it, or if you're on the positive side, as I think many of you are, it can go as positive as you want it to as well. Really want to establish that voice and try to stick with it throughout the whole review. Here's some other examples of voice here as well. You can have a grateful tone, a surprised. You can have kind of a nasty tone, keep it appropriate, of course, or a joyous tone or voice as well. Then, as you look at that today as well, you want to start having a little bit of a hook. I know that hooks are always a really difficult thing, but here are some examples that you can do. You can, number one, make an analogy, compare the movie or one of the actors to something else. Maybe you've seen another movie they've been in. Maybe it relates to a book. Maybe you've read the book as well and can make a comparison there. You could share an anecdote, a very short story that relates to the film. I have just a line or two in my introduction about sitting down in the theater with my tub of popcorn and kind of what was going on in my head as I was watching. As always, you can ask a rhetorical question, something that gets the reader thinking. Again, we want to make sure that this is a strategy we don't overuse. You could use hyperbole, so exaggerate your opinion. Okay, rather than just saying, "Yeah, I kind of like the movie," really, really leap into it. Really try to have it be kind of out there with your over the top opinion. Number five, you could set up a scenario. Okay, an imagine kind of sequence. Maybe it's something that's related to your movie, or have something where you provide context and kind of begin to develop that expertise. Okay, give some background on yourself. Why are you an expert with this movie? Is it a movie that you've seen 30 times and have memorized? Again, maybe it's something you've read the book on. Maybe it's something that it's just like a family tradition. You watch it every year, some of those types of ideas. Okay, so you want to have a hook strategy, three or four sentences in your opening paragraph. Okay, then from there, you have your introduction with your hook and your main point. So my main point, while the movie attempts to capture the feel of the first three movies, the CGI and cinematography, along with director Steven Spielberg, having too many moments that seemed out of touch with the series, makes for an uneven viewing experience. Okay. Now remember, that would go at the end here of my introduction paragraph. Okay. Here's my introduction to establish my tone slash voice. The word fake is a word that has negative meaning to most people. The adjective version of the definition explains the word fake as not genuine, and synonyms for the word include phony, false, and pretend. I remember when the movie studios announced that after almost 20 years, there was finally going to be a new Indiana Jones movie. I was cautiously excited. I mean, George Lucas had already partially let fans down with his new Star Wars trilogy, but this was Indiana Jones, and Steven Spielberg was going to direct again. How could it go wrong? I admit, I am a fan. I own all the movies, and it's one of my favorite movie series. But there I was, on opening weekend, sitting in the theater with my jumbo sized popcorn, rolling my eyes at the visual falseness of this movie. watching the alien based plot with growing disdain and physically sighing at the last couple of scenes, one of which included a giant spaceship. So you can kind of see how I tried to set up this idea of how disappointed I was into some sarcasm as well, like Lucas kind of wrecking those movies. But I mean, hey, give him another chance here because Spielberg was attacked. It also hopefully establishes a little bit of credibility for me and my fandom with the movie. Okay, the next paragraph is a brief summary of the film or plot. Again, remember, this is just ripped right from my planner. I have a little bit more to go here with the ending of my summary, but you can kind of get a general idea of what I'm aiming for with the setting and characters and conflict. This should be around 6 to 8 sentences, not much longer than that. This is pretty much right from summary. You don't want to have a lot of your opinion or any of your opinion in this paragraph. Then we're moving into the third paragraph. That's reason number one for you. You can see here, I kind of chose my reason number two from my planners. They don't have to be in the same order as it was on your planner. And then I have my you can kind of see the two examples that I stole from my planner, put them into a paragraph here. This was not all of my paragraph. I couldn't quite fit it onto the screen. So if you click this link down below where this annoying thing is covering up, then you can go into the whole graph here as well if you need that. Okay, so feel free use the example paragraphs to help you out. Come to the live session today if you want to talk through any of your ideas, or maybe you've written a paragraph and you want some work to be able to talk through the ideas in order to include a little bit more depth or to make them a little bit longer. Okay, see you out there, everybody.